Hello everyone, welcome to Dualog Drive webinar. Whether you're new to Drive or just exploring what it can do, we're excited to show you how it's helping shipping companies run smoother and simplifying their ship-to-shore data exchange. I'm Din, and with me is Kristian, our product manager for Drive.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining.
We'll be guiding you through today's session. Later on, Elias Vlakoyanis from Minerva, one of our experienced users, to share how they are using Drive to optimize their operations. But before we dive in, here's a look of what you can expect from today's session. We'll start with the trends and challenges we are seeing across the industry. Then Kristian will walk through what Drive is and why it matters. After that, we'll be joined by Elias from Minerva Marine for some real-world examples of Drive in action. And then we'll look at the latest product updates and what's coming soon. And finally, we'll open up the floor for a short Q&A. All right, before we dive deeper, let's set the stage, especially for those who are new to Dualog Drive or considering it for their fleet. Kristian, could you help us understand why Drive is more relevant now than ever?
Sure, then. Today, ships are moving a lot more data than they used to, with higher throughput satellite as an enabler. Operational reports, compliance documents, software updates, training videos. The volume has exploded as far as we can see. At the same time, traditional manual processes are still common, which increases the risk of delays and errors. Plus, with more data flowing in and out, cybersecurity threats are also on the rise.
Just curious, what's the biggest foul you've ever seen Dualog handle?
Well, we have seen a lot of files well above 10 gigs, but most importantly, the volume has increased a lot. From January 24 until today, it has almost tripled, as you can see in the graph. The increase in volume and file sizes tells us that Drive is growing in value as a central data distribution hub. Drive helps automate and secure the data exchange, giving companies better visibility, faster operations, and fewer manual headaches, all tailored specifically for the challenges met in the maritime industry. Based on our experience and customer feedback, Drive has got quite a few features, tailor-making it for this industry. Examples are configuration options like ship groups, ship codes, and the possibilities to create one-to-many and many-to-one tasks. When creating Drive, one of our main goals was to make every aspect around Drive easy and smooth. And this is something we are constantly trying to improve.
Kristian, what's the fastest fleet rollout of Drive that you have witnessed?
Well, it depends on fleet size and availability, of course, but we have seen customers with big fleets being fully operational just a few days after signing the contract. In fact, you can start using Drive without any assistance from us. You create an account at our portal, apps.dualog.com, then register your organization and add ship names. Then you download the installer and are ready to go. The installation requires a minimum of interaction actually, or it can even be fully automated. Then our wizard will help you configure tasks to send the different types of data. Once the configuration and installations are done, you can start monitor data flowing between ships and shore. The advantage of storing data in the cloud is obvious, with sharing capabilities and availability everywhere and on any device as the main ones. Drive is integrated with SharePoint in a way that ships can send and receive files to and from SharePoint. We also have an integration with Amazon S3, mainly targeting sensor data from ships directly into S3. And we are ready to integrate with other cloud solutions if the need is there, of course. So that is really up to the customers to decide. With Drive, we think you will cover most use cases like distribution of images, documents, and software. But I think our friend Elias would share how he is using Drive. So let's get some good examples from him instead of me listing them.
But before we hear more from Elias in the next segment, have you ever had a customer use Drive in a way you didn't expect?
I think we have seen many surprising ways of using Drive actually, but maybe using it to back up ship data directly into SharePoint is the most surprising one.
Thanks, Kristian. That gives everyone a good overview of how Drive fits into daily fleet operations. Let's hear from one of our Drive champions, Ilias Vlakoyanis from Minerva Marine, with Kyriakos and Kristian.
Kalimera, Elias. Good morning, everybody. First, we would like to thank you for accepting this invitation for discussing Dualog Drive, our data exchange solution. Kristian and I will ask you a few questions on how you and your team are using Dualog Drive and how this solution have helped you out on your day-to-day activities. First question, please tell us a little bit about your company, the size of your company, and what type of vessels do you guys have?
Good day, Kyriakos. Good day, Kristian. Thanks for having me. My name is Ilias Vlakoyanis, and I'm the head of fleet ICT of Minerva Marine. Minerva is a private independent ship management company headquartered in Athens with a total fleet of 75 vessels at the moment. The company specializes in managing a diverse fleet, including oil tankers, dry bulk carriers, container ships, and LNG vessels, providing reliable, efficient transportation services.
Thank you. Can you please tell us about your experience with Dualog? Is there something that you need to highlight or you have to highlight?
Yeah, of course. I would characterize my experience with working with Dualog as a unique one. At this stage, allow me to share a short story during the very beginning when I requested the proof of concept. The main scope was to cover my major concern, which was, of course, the large volume of Minerva fleets. After that, we started working with Dualog experts, and the project ran so fast that after the high level of support and consulting that we received, we designed a solution that would last and fit. It is worth mentioning that in less than a month, we managed to migrate all our file transfer jobs fleet-wide. The professionalism and readiness of the team, along with their experience, are things that drew my attention from the very beginning.
Wow, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. Kristian, you want to go ahead and ask Ilias your part?
Yeah, I know that you are one of the, let's say, heaviest users of Dualog Drive today, with gigabytes of data going every week. But when you selected us or selecting Dualog Drive as the file transfer tool, did you consider any alternatives? And if so, what kind of alternatives did you look at?
Okay, that's true. I'm one of the heavy users. Okay, look, despite the fact that we were already aware of Dualog Drive as a tool, it would be rather unfair to not consider any alternatives. Thus, the answer is yes. We also considered a few alternatives from the market. I don't think it's necessary to share the name of these ones. The point is to focus on the deciding factor to use Dualog Drive comparing to other tools, which could be described with a simple phrase: it just works. Dualog Drive is a robust service with no freezes and no missing files at all. We deployed it and then we simply forgot about it.
Good. What challenges did you encounter in data exchange before you choose to use Dualog Drive? And what did you do before?
Okay. Look, for several reasons, one of which is the vessel's communications and availability in general. The majority of maritime software is designed to work with a known pattern. In most cases, there's a central database, let's say the office, which is located either in the on-premise IT infrastructure or the cloud, on which all the data are stored. There are also remote database sites, let's say the vessels, that are exchanging information with the central site. These software are built in a way that sync packets are being exported from the central database and need to be consecutively imported on the remote sites and vice versa. So the most critical challenge we faced before Dualog Drive was to keep those sequences up to date without missing packets in between. Imagine that if an automated file transfer mechanism fails for some reason, we needed to troubleshoot several vessels and restore functionality by finding all the missing packets.
Okay. Can you say anything more about what kind of types of files and data do you most often transfer? Because I know you're as you just described, you're sending data from different applications.
Yeah. As previously mentioned, we transfer data from our office software installations to the vessels and vice versa. When I say software, I mean ERP, document management, non-reporting, crew scheduling, and etc. Apart from the software, we're also syncing data related to VDR, CCTV, training videos, and of course, regardless of the file type, data from our retailer departments to and from the vessels. So we managed to automate procedures that required human time allocation. As far as it concerns the types of files, it could be a .zip, a database, a library, videos, or anything else.
Yeah, as we said initially, you're one of the heaviest users, and when you look into that long list, I definitely understand why you send so much data or where that data comes from. Is it any functionality in Dualog Drive that you want to highlight when it comes to either the way it works, the way you can look into the portal, etc.?
Yeah. Look, if I had to choose one, okay, without any doubt and bypassing the tool's robustness, if I had to choose one, I would mention the zip code lists. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're the tech guy here, but the zip code lists provide us the capability to administer massively our fleet's file transfer tasks using regular expressions. This functionality makes the file transfer job simpler and easier to manage. So with this functionality, we eliminate the need to have many file transfer tasks.
Okay, thank you. Have you seen any big improvements in the data transfers since you started using Drive, and any other big improvements in the way it works, the way you spend time on this, etc.?
Well, that's actually a good question. And okay, allow me to mention once again the robustness and stability of the software. For us, it was never the complicated or the advanced capabilities. When you're managing a large and diverse fleet, it's all about making it work as simple as it can be. I cannot provide specific numbers, but it should be certainly mentioned that several man-hours were saved from our team, and not only. When I say not only, I mean also from the internal departments, the finance, procurement, the files are being transferred like being live, so their job is easier, and we don't need to interact for these cases. The fact that the data are so fast and efficiently transferred both ways makes it feel like the vessels are actually online. As an achievement, and you mentioned it before, it should be definitely mentioned that the transfer of a whole virtual machine to our fleets, which was approximately 60 gigabytes, was successfully transferred to fleet-wide. So if you calculate the amount of data transferred in just a couple of days, it is rather impressive, I would say.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
it's you, Kyriakos.
Yes.
No.
Okay. As we have reached the end of this discussion, would like to thank you again for your time. Would like to thank Minerva for choosing Dualog Drive and choosing Dualog as one of your partners. And as you know, we are always available to assist when there is a need, and our support is 24/7 standby to help and resolve any issues if and when they arise. Thank you again for your time, and thanks, Minerva.
I hope the use cases and example from Minerva give everyone a better overview of how Drive can be applied in real-world operations, whether it's improving reporting, managing large volume of data, or simply making daily workflow more efficient. We believe these stories can inspire how shipping companies might benefit from using Drive as well. With that, let's move on and take a look at some of the latest features and updates we've introduced in Drive. Kristian, can you walk us through some of the latest updates and improvements?
Yes, the biggest changes has happened on the cybersecurity page. We have introduced malware scanning, where files are scanned before being pushed to vessels, or even more importantly, they are scanned before being sent to the office. Coming very soon is an upgrade where we are checking for known malware before files are sent, based on file checksums. 64-bit operating system support makes the clients more efficient and utilizes modern OS and hardware. As a side note, this goes for all Link platform services. Just recently, we made some important cybersecurity updates on the SharePoint integration as well. Now the customer can specify which sites Drive can access. ShareView was released quite some time ago, but has had some updates recently. Users can now create a name for each ShareView. Earlier, it got a name equal to the task name. It is possible to search for ShareView in the list of ShareViews as well. For those of you new to Drive, ShareView is a way to share live status for specific tasks and ships without having to log into the portal and search for specific information. Desktop notifications give real-time alerts on the ship when files are received. For now, it uses the built-in Windows notification system, which might change later. Portal improvements are happening all the time, giving easier navigation, new features, and better responsiveness. These updates are driven by customer feedback, so please let us know.
Thanks, Kristian. It's exciting to see what's coming next. Just to add, there's a feedback button directly in the Drive portal. So if you have suggestions of new features or improvements, you can easily drop your feedback there and our team will review it. And what about the future? What's exciting improvements are coming next?
The sync protocol has gone through a full rewrite. You will see faster and more efficient file transfers. Most importantly, we have now added cleanup of the database, as we see the increase in usage also result in the use of more disk space. Several customers have requested a way to cancel large transfers, often initiated by mistake. For move tasks, you'll be able to stop files mid-transfer if needed. We will add a ship overview page where you can see what is happening on ship level, like what files are currently being up or downloaded. Also, we are working on a general Drive statistics page where you'll be able to see volume based on various criteria like period, ship, and task. These features are all designed to give you more control, better visibility, and faster experience. We see a trend where the need for access to more sensor data and even more live sensor data from ships is increasing. To meet this demand, we are planning to implement live streaming of data.
Fantastic. Thank you for the sneak peek, Kristian. We have now reached to the Q&A part of today's webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer as many as we can.
The first question, does Dualog Drive scan for malware if the files are sent to the vessel as a zip file?
Yes, it does. The scanners we are using, they are opening the zip file and scanning the files inside the zip file, even if there is a zip file that is zipped into another zip file and so on. And also, if the zip file is password protected, yes, we are stopping those files as well.
Okay, that's good. And yeah, it seems like we have another question about malware scan again. I'll bring that out now. I've already endpoint software installed on all computers on board all my vessels and in the office. What additional protection does malware scanning provide?
But first of all, we have multiple scanners. So all files that is enabled for malware scanning, they are being scanned by multiple scanners, and that reduces the risk of getting zero-day attacks. Also, some of the scanners, they are sending the files to a sandbox for even further checks. So it is another layer of security, so to say. So, but of course, you must have endpoint security on all your ships as well, and make sure that they are up to date.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Is it possible to receive a notification via email or a pop-up message when the file transfers are completed?
No, we are not spamming people with email notifications when there is a file that has arrived or has been delivered. All our kind of notifications or information on the status is seen on our portal, and also using the share view, as I mentioned in the video, is helping out to have full control of all the transfers. So that is our approach to having control. Get it in the portal and not thousands of email. I would imagine Elias would go crazy if he got an email for each file he had sent.
Yeah, and I noticed as well, I mean, speaking of ShareView, Kristian, we've seen that actually this ShareView is also shared to captains on board. So they have full visibility of, all the transfers that is receiving on board, or they are sending it to the office.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can, it's not only for the office users, but you can also use it for ships. And you can only give that link only to that particular ship. So it's not looking at all the other transfers from other ships as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
and the notification system also is helping out, but that is on the receiving end. So whenever there is a file that has arrived, you will get a notification on the computer to inform you that you have received a file, and you can even open that notification and get to the location of the file.
Okay, another question. What is the pricing model? And I think this is quite interesting because we know there's a lot of options out there in the market. For us, it's actually per ship or per site, actually. It could be an office, or if you're hosting it on the SharePoint, we will not be charging you for that. It will be just on the ships. So, yep, and it's a monthly surcharge for the subscription model. Next question, is this tied to any airtime contract?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yep.
Yes.
For the fun of it.
No, it's not. You can use any IP based carrier, and of course we don't sell airtime. So whatever you have, you just have to open the correct IP port so that the traffic is going through. That's the only thing.
Yep. We have another question, also related to IP connectivity. Does my Dualog Drive work even with slow internet? Due to the routes my fleet vessels currently use, Starlink is not feasible. We currently have VSAT and fleet broadband on board. So this is quite interesting. I guess it's related to carrier awareness, where we are able to route certain tasks via different IP carriers. So for example, if you have a fleet broadband on board, we don't need to actually transmit anything because we know it's very expensive carrier and you're paying per megabyte, compared to your VSAT or your Starlink. So Dualog is able to, we're able to do a carrier awareness so that we can actually route certain tasks. And yeah, when it's slow traffic, it's very common that certain areas, they have some, poor connectivity. We are able to continue the connection even though, if you're disconnected from the internet.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. We do
Mm.
we do support even slow carriers. That's no problem. Yeah.
Next question, Kristian. I guess this is your expertise when it comes to drive compression and deduplication during the file transfer. Can you explain more on that, or do we do that?
Yeah, we do. We do both compression and also deduplication. And deduplication here means that we are chopping the files or the packages that we send in small pieces, and if we recognize that there are some of these small pieces that's already on the ship, we don't send it again. So we do everything we can to reduce the volume that is being transferred, even though the throughput or the speed of satellite systems are much faster now. It is important still to save wherever we can. So the answer is yes, we do compression and we also do deduplication here.
Okay. And there is also a follow-up question from the same person. What about the error tolerance during the file transfer?
I guess the question here is when the line is bad and we are losing connection, and what we are doing then. And of course we do restart on the breakpoint. So that means that if a file has, if like 7 of 8 gigabytes of file has been transferred and we lose the connection, then we don't start from point 0. We start from wherever we lost the connection.
Okay.
I hope that answers that question.
We have another question here. What is the current maximum single file size that Dualog Drive Move can transfer? 5 gigabytes or 10 gigabytes?
The maximum that we have set currently is 30 gigabytes. The default value is 3 gigabytes, but that is something that easily can be set up to a maximum of 30 gigabytes. We have just chosen 30 gigabytes as a limit. We haven't seen that big sizes yet, so we haven't heard anyone that wants even more than those 30 gigabytes, at least as far as I can remember. But I have seen 25 gigs being sent. So there are a lot of ISO images, etc., that is going through. That is kind of really big.
Okay, then thank you everyone for attending our Dualog Drive webinar. Hopefully it was a very meaningful and interesting session for you guys. And yeah, feel free to actually reach out to us. There is a QR code that you can reach out to me and Kristian, and then we'll follow up with you guys after this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.